Hi, welcome to the Wired
and Rewired podcast, a podcast all about the hit HBO series, The Wire.
I'm Chris, and this is my 1,000th time watching The Wire.
And this is Ellie. It is my first.
If you're new to the Force or a longtime veteran, we think you'll find something here to enjoy. Today we cover Season 2, Episode 10, Storm Warnings. And as always, we begin by popping a recap. The detail uses satellite technology to its advantage. Bodhi is unhappy that Proposition Joe's people are slinging in the... What the hell does it say? On his turf. I said in the turf. Okay. On his turf. But business flows until a new face from New York arrives. Stringer Bell looks to an unlikely solution to the problem. A frustrated Valchek visits the FBI in an attempt to get real results on the docks. Ziggy's deal with Double G goes bad in a big way. Nick lies to Amy, Greggs considers the idea of motherhood, and Prez makes a major blunder. The detail prepares for an action that they hope will give them the man on top. The episode was written by Ed Burns, his second episode writing this season, and directed by Rob Bailey. It premiered on August 10th, 2003. All right. So, Ellie, why don't you kick us off by giving us the epigraph?
It pays to go with the union card every time, said by Ziggy.
All right. You know, and I didn't think about this too much when I was rewatching this, but I think we'll have to see if this one comes out, because the union card, obviously there's a lot of union stuff, both I think if you want to think about the police and the union as well, so a lot of interesting stuff about it. But before we get started in the episode, let's take a look at your predictions. Again, I think only 3 this time. We talked about it last time that everything's weaving together, so you really just stuff is going to happen. I was
struggling last time.
But you said specifically that Ziggy's going to kill somebody.
Boom. Did say that.
Boom.
Did not think it was I did say he would kill somebody.
Yeah, you were worried it was going to be Nikki or Johnny Batson, which would be like kind of a thing, but of course you were right on the money on that one, so nicely done there. Stringer moves forward with Joe's people. Boom. And tries to dispatch Brother Mouzone. So, I mean, he's kind of doing that as well.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing, of course, that Stringer didn't do that. Joe is the one kind of
Prop
inside
Joe's
of
helping him out.
It's sort of Stringer's ineffectiveness that is leading Joe to do that. So that's kind of interesting. So, and then you were worried about Frank. Something bad is going to happen with Frank, which not so much.
Yeah.
I mean,
not yet anyway.
Yeah. So, obviously things happen with him. But related to Ziggy, of course.
Right.
But I think that the tricky part is that the discussion that he has with Ott, or the argument he gets into. So just
that's true.
Curious. We can talk about that a little bit more when we get to it. So, all right, but so 2 of 3 for sure. And I would say 2 of 2 and a walk. So 2 for 2 and a walk.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So good job.
Thank you.
All right. Well, any questions before we get started?
Nope.
Okay. Well, then let us begin.
Okay. Well, I've got 3 storylines for us. We're going to start with Don't Mess with Mouzone. And then we're going to have Zig Takes.
Mouzone.
Mouzone.
Yeah.
Is it Zone at the end of his name?
Yes.
Zone. I have it spelled wrong. Okay. Zig Takes a Zag. And
back to the titles.
Yeah, you love that.
Knocking it out.
And then FBI are friends. Okay. So let's start. We see Bodhi giving someone some cash, and I don't know. This character is actually in here quite a bit, the person that he's talking to, but I don't know what their name is.
Puddin.
That's Puddin. Okay. And basically saying that they need to re-up that spot. It's clear that the drugs are good. They haven't seen that many deals going down for a while. It's great. They're happy. Stringer then comes up and he introduces the East Side guys and tells Bodhi, hey, let's be nice to them. And also that they're going to now be taking over these areas. And one of the guys is Cheese, of course. And Bodhi's like, what the heck? Why are we giving this, these properties up? And Stringer tells him that the only reason they have a good product is because of the East Side guys. So that's the way it's going to be.
What these off-brand niggas going to do with a project tower?
Man, fall back, youngin'. I'm going to show y'all motherfuckers how to grind out here, all right? What I want right here.
Hey, String. Yo, I heard you, man. I did, but this shit right here, it don't make no sense.
You like the new product we selling? It makes sense now?
So deals are going down. The East Side guys Cheese and his guys are really just across the street, basically, making deals. So they are very close to each other. Bodhi and Puddin are talking, and they're a bit concerned that the East Side guys are offering a better deal. And who was the one taking the deal? It's Bubs. Yay,
yeah,
Bubs.
Of course, Bubs, yeah.
So Bodhi goes in and he tries to make a better offer than that. And, I think it's Cheese. He's like, oh, you guys can sell drugs here without putting a gun in someone's face? Wow. I couldn't believe that you guys can do that.
Yeah.
It's, it's tense, but it's still not in a bad place yet.
Yo, what's up, soldier? Looking maybe to do something here? With him? This motherfucker? I saw him over on Ashland last week selling burns, man. Fuck y'all, nigga. Nah, look, I'm saying, what'd he say? 25, $2 and the coke kicker. Yo, I give you the $2 for 15 plus the ice on top for free. What? That'll work. Ha. Nah, take it in the lobby, man. I'll be right behind you. That's what's up. See, the game now is that we gotta sell more of this good shit than they do.
What? Get the fuck out. What, you mean to tell me there's a West Side nigga that know how to sell shit without sticking a pistol in a fiend's face?
Yeah, dog. And you better get used to it, because y'all ain't selling shit until we bone-ass drop. Believe that.
All right, nigga, whatever, man. All right, cottage cheese, chest-ass motherfucker.
Anyways, we're at Blind Butchie's next time we deal with any of these guys. And there's some old guys in there, and they're talking about East Side versus West Side beef and how it goes back to Pee Wee Matthews. And, back then, how you didn't use violence without a good reason. And Omar then comes into Blind Butchie's place, and he has a treat for the dog. He clearly knows him. We know now that Blind Butchie and Omar have this kind of a relationship. He leaves a package of cash for Blind Butchie and says, it's for my people. And then he gives him another little package of cash, says it's for a rainy day. And Butchie says he should consider backing off. And Omar's like, oh, backing off of what? So that was an interesting little bit of background, I thought.
Excuse me. What say, Omar?
Ain't no thing. No, I got something for you, right? Don't come around less than I did. So what up, Butch? How you holding up, baby?
Except for fretting on you, I'm good.
It's for my people. A little something for a rainy day.
You built up a right nice sized nest these past couple of years. Every time you maybe think about backing off some?
Back off to what? Later, Butch. Stay one.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes to show, I guess, like how you would maintain, like, the money that you're earning from your illicit crimes. That is kind of an interesting, question. Because, I mean, you look at where he lives and you're like, you would never want to store significant amounts of money there. No. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to back up and just say, like, I thought it was Bodhi's response to Stringer. Like, Stringer says, I want you to show them the hospitality. And Bodhi's like, yeah, you want us to fuck them up? Yeah. Like, they're walking up. Like, Bodhi, like, how did you think that was going to work? Like, wait for Stringer to go in. Like, these guys are literally walking in, which I thought was funny. And then, of course, Method Man's response to Bodhi.
Yeah.
And actually, sorry, like, Bodhi selling to Bubbles, and then he throws up the middle finger when Bodhi says that'll work.
Yes.
I just such a great line. And then Cheese's response I thought was kind of hilarious too. Yeah. Like a little bit of good natured kind of thing. Yes. So just good stuff. Yes. But yeah. But as you said, like, yeah, now you learn about Omar's connection to Butchie, which, I actually forgot. I thought that had been known for a while, but we never seen it. We hadn't seen that before.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think that I had seen that connection.
Yeah, I mean, we only learned about Butchie when we were learning about Tillman, which feels like 100 years ago.
I know, my gosh, I can't believe that was even this season.
Yeah, exactly. So, and now you see this other connection to Butchie, so that's kind of interesting too. So yeah, and yeah, Butchie and Omar together are terrific. So I like them, and as Butchie says, like, you want to back off, like, kind of reminds me of what Omar said about Bird. It's like, fish got to swim. Like, this is the only life that Omar knows, and this is what he's going to do for basically, I don't know, who knows when. So, yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, Bubs is buying drugs again. This time, I don't know if you noticed this. He's outside the McCullough Health Center.
Okay.
There's a sign on the building that says that. So perfect. Cheese and his guys come out in that area, and Cheese is giving his friends some valuable relationship advice.
Yep.
No, not exactly. He's being gross.
Yep, sure.
And then we have Brother Mouzone, who greets them with gentlemen, and they start basically flinging shit at him about how he's dressed. His mama laid his clothes out and he must be Muslim. But Mouzone tells him that he is there to represent Mr. Barksdale, and since Cheese does not work for Barksdale, he better get his booty back across Charles Street. And of course, Mouzone does not know about the deal that Stringer made.
Right.
He just knows what he has been instructed to do. So when Cheese does not exactly listen to him, he ends up getting, I think he's about to take a swing at him and immediately gets shot in the shoulder with what we find out is rat shot, like plastic pellets or something like that. And this whole time, Bubs is watching this. Bubs has a little bit of intel for later. But yeah, that is our introduction to what Mouzone's going to be like.
You know what I'm saying, dog? So I'm like, I don't be understanding how these hoes be acting sometimes and shit, So I tell the bitch, I'm like, bitch, either you suck dick or you don't suck dick. You know what I'm saying?
Gentlemen.
What's up, my brother? Oh, what? You slinging bean pies up in here or something? You know what I mean? You with the nation, homie? Because either you a Muslim or your mama need to stop laying your clothes out in the morning.
I'm here to represent the interests of a Mr. Barksdale. Are you familiar with Mr. Barksdale?
Yeah, that name ring out, but so do mine.
And you are?
Cheese, man.
Mr. Cheese, I see. And who do you work for, Mr. Cheese?
Who do I work for?
Am I correct in assuming that you are not employed by Mr. Barksdale?
Hell yeah.
Because if that is the case, then I have to insist that you leave.
This nigga serious?
Let me be emphatic. You need to take your black ass across Charles Street where it belongs.
What? Oh, hold on now. You know what I'm saying? He don't know what this is. He ain't what he think. You know what I'm saying? First of all, we got permission to grind in these here towers. Second of all, I don't give a fuck what the thing you need. Get off!
Pellets in plastic. Rat shot. What you need be concerned about is what's seated in the chamber now. A copper jacketed hollow point, 120 grain hot street load of my own creation. So you need to think for just a moment and ask yourself, what do I have to do before this man raise up his gun again?
Let's go.
Good day to you, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, he's pretty vicious and fast.
Well, and the interesting thing is that, so I have to credit Van Lathan for this. He has in their podcast, Way Down in the Hole, he talked about how the rat shot was planned. So he knew, or he was predicting that these guys were going to step to him. And so he wanted to give them something not lethal, the first shot, but the second shot.
The second
so just,
shot was,
just really interesting component to it. I didn't have a chance to look at what rat shot is, but I guess it's pretty straightforward. It's just like something that the bullet probably explodes on when it's fired. And then it's just, almost like a shotgun. Yeah. That stuff. So.
Painful, superficial wounds.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's there's the interesting part about it, I think, which is, just what is, so he shoots Cheese. And I think in a kind of a, I don't know if I'd call it, what's it called? Like a sucker punch kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to think about like how he still commands respect, but I'm like, I don't quite understand how that works. Like he's just sitting there on the bench, so anyway, that part I never quite got because it feels like, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but, obviously he makes his presence known with authority. So
Right.
that, now Cheese knows what he's dealing with. So
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. And that will get around because Cheese now has relayed those events to Prop Joe.
Yep.
This is actually the first time that I realized that the space that Prop Joe is in is a repair shop.
Oh, okay.
I did not realize that until he's like, frayed cord, put $7.50 on it for the toaster. I was like, wait a second. That's what he does in there.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a garage or something like that. Anyways, Cheese is like, let's put a bounty on him. And Prop Joe says, nobody has gone up against this guy and ever lived. So no, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not going to work for Stringer to try to go after him. It's not going to work for us to try to go after him. And then he says, leading us there's only one person who could kill him. And this is somebody who won't do it without pay.
Yeah.
So, leading us to Omar.
Oughtn't you be laid up resting? Gunshot ain't nothing to trifle with.
Sure to do hurt. But this here worked just fine.
Tell Stack polish it up good and put $7.50 on it. Shame to let a good toaster get away over a frayed cord. First off, ain't nobody running up in them projects. Them West Side boys hurting over this more than even you. Trust me, as soon as our good shit run out, they fucked. Second, a whole passel of hard-ass hitters took a go at Brother Mouzone and ain't lived to say shit about it. We go at the boy, no telling what might get stirred up. And if Stringer take a shot, he crosses Avon on it.
And put a bounty on him. Let some bushwhacking fiend back shoot his ass.
Oh, I pinned money on him and first thing he come at me? Shit. Might as well just shoot myself now and get it over. There is one boy who could just pull this off. Only he won't take contract money.
Sorry, he won't do it for pay.
For pay. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Yep.
He wouldn't do it for pay.
Correct.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I wrote that.
Okay.
Double negative.
Yeah, got to watch those double negatives.
Oh my gosh. Back to Butchie. We've got Prop Joe in the house now, and he's telling Butchie that Stringer would like to talk to Omar. So it kind of seems like he's, being mediator.
Yeah.
The relationship counselor again. But Butchie says that it doesn't feel right. And he also points out those Barksdale people can't be trusted. Prop Joe says something like, if you think it might help, I could go for protection. So I don't know what he really means by that. He's just saying, like, I could go to make sure Omar doesn't get hurt, or I could send somebody.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, I get it. But then Butchie points out Hayward could be the protection instead.
Yeah. That'll be, it'll be clear.
Okay. In a future episode?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
What that means. Essentially, Joe would put up his people to make sure that nothing goes down during the mediation.
Okay, I see. Okay. But instead it's going to be Hayward.
Haywood.
Yeah.
Haywood. Yeah.
And so, Haywood looks pretty strong.
Yeah.
So, I'll be okay with that.
Stringer Bell come at me with this. Said he got something with Omar he need to make straight.
Didn't say what that might be?
Wouldn't tell me. And to be truthful, didn't want to know.
No. Don't feel right. You know yourself them Barksdale people ain't to be trusted.
No denying all you say is true, but Stringer talking parlay. So your boy needs to think long and hard on this. Cause if Omar living his day-to-day in the streets, there ain't no telling what their next step might be if there ain't no sit-down.
Parlay?
That's all they say looking for.
I'll talk to him. But if it feel funny to him the way it do to me, I got a better chance of putting a leash to the wind,
You think it might help? I can go protection. Never one got hurt last time.
Then there was a reason to meet. This time felt different.
I hear you. Maybe Stringer's still trying to Settle the beef behind the fact that he got to live in this city too. Omar being Omar.
If it ain't putting you out none, I feel a powerful lot better if my nephew took over protection. Haywood.
Yep.
All right, Brother Mouzone asks Lamar, his kind of assistant guy. He's sitting on a bench.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what you were talking about, just kind of hanging out. He's reading some magazines or periodicals. He asks Lamar where his new Harper's is, and he's very annoyed because Lamar has forgotten this particular one that he wanted. Clearly, this is somebody who likes to stay up on current events. And Bodhi and Puddin are watching him kind of from the corner, and they're talking about, they're worrying about what they will do when they don't have any more drugs from the east side to push. And it's Puddin who's like, why is String letting the east side in here if Barksdale is running them off with Brother Mouzone? And, Bodhi just kind of like nods his head like he's been thinking that same thing.
Yeah.
So the plot thickens.
Lamar, where's my Harper's?
Say what?
Harper's, the new issue.
You didn't say that when you said a New Republic, an Atlantic, and a new something else.
I did not forget to tell you Harper's. Every week I tell you the same shit, and every week you forget half of what I say. Tomorrow, first thing, you go down to the newsstand and you get Harper's. And The Nation, too, which you also managed to forget. You know what the most dangerous thing in America is, right? Nigga with a library card.
All damn day, he just sit there, reading. And damned if them east side bitches don't stay away.
Well, that's real muscle right there.
True that.
But what we gonna do when we start running out of good product? That's what we need to ask ourselves.
Yo, Bodie, if String went the east side up in here, then why Box still got a man running them off?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yes.
I don't know. It's just, I don't understand Stringer's, play here. Although, actually, wait, Stringer is in that first scene, and that's it.
Yes.
So
that's it.
Or no, and in the discussion with Joe, right?
That
was last episode.
Last episode.
Last episode. So anyway, it's just it is that question of what is Stringer doing? So anyway,
I guess he's trying to be a businessman.
Yeah,
he's trying to preserve this thing in the way that he thinks is appropriate.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, I think there's something really interesting about Joe's turn, because Joe says last episode, "This is your problem,"
right?
And
yeah,
then he is taking it upon himself to try to get. So that just must mean the money is really good.
I think so. I think that those locations, he's wanting to keep those locations as long as he can keep them going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Okay. Well, let's move on to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just one note about the men that are with Brother Mouzone.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre McCullough plays Lamar, and DeAndre McCullough was the subject of The Corner, the book by David Simon, and then later the miniseries that they put together. So he's not. So he is acting in this role, but he was the actual real life person from The Corner. So if you, I've mentioned, I think probably once or twice, I recommend watching it. If you can read it, I think that's even better. But it is really dense, and it's you like I was able to read like 2 pages at a time before I had to take a break because it's so heavy. So I'm just not strong enough to lift that kind of thing. So, but yeah, okay. So sorry, just a couple of notes, and then I think that's the end of that little thread.
That's the end of that one. Good. All right, let's now, if it's safe, move on to Ziggy.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead. Sorry, she's Ellie's looking at me like waiting for me to say, one more thing. No, not
all right, Ziggy, we see him in the outdoor yard where they had all of the vehicles stored, and he's peeling the plastic off of a hood of a new car. He gets in, he turns the radio up, he's rocking out, he's driving the car around, kind of like a big asshole, and he's waiting for Johnny 50 to cut the fence, and then I think he's going to go through the fence, and then he drives it into a can, and his little skinny butt pops out the top, right? That's why he needed the sunroof, as we heard in the last episode. And also, this is where we hear the epigraph when he's referring to Johnny 50's, the work he's doing, that it pays to go with the Union card every time. And we do find out, too, that the cars are going to Athens, Greece. So this is the big plan, and it seems like a really good, smart plan. When Ziggy was talking about, to Lucas, I bet you got some people. He wasn't talking about people that, that live there. He was talking about people across the pond.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. Like I always say, it pays to go with a Union card every time.
Turn the fucking radio down, Zig.
Will you get in a goddamn car already? I mean, for Christ's sakes, we ain't got all night.
Jesus. Drive a tank through there, it wouldn't take a scratch. Fuck you going with this?
Greece. Athens, Greece.
So a hole so they don't think it's an inside job. So they don't look at the Union.
Welcome aboard, Chief.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so let's move on now. We have, I guess, shoot, should I include this here? Maybe I will include it here. Nick, the thing with Nick and Amy, I will include here.
Yeah,
I
sure.
guess. Amy let's see here. Where did I put that? Amy is doing laundry, and she turns around. She's downstairs. She sees in the rafters that there is a big stack of cash, right? So she pulls that down, and she just looks at it. We later catch up with them when she and Nick are sitting on the bed, and there's the $4,000 in cash, we find out. And Nick says that Gleekus has been paying him in cash. He's been doing so much work. He's pulling down 7 days a week or something like that. I can't remember. And of course, that he's been saving it up for her to use for a new apartment, but she does not believe him, and she doesn't want that money. I don't even think she says anything in that scene. I think she's totally silent in that scene. So that's just a little aside of what goes on with Nick and Amy during this time. Back to now Gleekus. Okay, Gleekus, we see that he's really annoyed with the younger guy that works with him. And then Ziggy comes in through the back, all hot shit, reporting on the cars that he stole and what's happened with them. Gleekus is like, let's not here. Let's go into my office. So they go into his office. Gleekus wants confirmation that they're there. Ziggy starts up with some jokes. He could have taken some pictures if he had that nice camera, but no, it's broken. Anyhow, he reaches into his desk. He pulls out a package of money, hands it to Ziggy. Ziggy looks at it, and it is half of what he was supposed to get. And this is not the first time we know that Ziggy has not gotten what he was due. And he loses his shit. He screams right up in his face. He calls him a Greek C word. And Double G pushes him out very forcefully. He's like, there's no way that he's going to take this bullshit from this scrawny, crazy person. Knees him in the stomach, gives him I think he pushes the money into his jacket and pushes him kind of the rest of the way out of the store.
Wait one. Them cars list out at better than 60 thou each.
20% was last week. Today the quote is 10. Still, it's good money for a few hours work, eh?
No! Oh no! No fucking way! We had a deal, motherfucker! A deal! You listen to me. It was my fucking ass out there on the line. Mine! And this piddling shit is the best that you come up with? You don't play me like that. You don't. Fuck you. You thieving Greek cunt.
Malaka! Sicurissimo. You do not know that one, Chief, but you know Malaka, yes? Now you know Malaka with dress.
And Ziggy goes to his car. He's clutching his stomach, and you can see he's just getting madder and madder and madder. And then he reaches over, he takes the gun out of the glove box. And I was just like, oh shit, here we go. I did not think it was going to be Gleekus, but here we go. He storms in, he shoots the assistant guy, and then he shoots Gleekus in the back.
Yeah.
And Gleekus is like, on the ground. He's like trying to turn and clutch toward his back and, pleading. And then Ziggy shoots him right in the head and calls him Malaka.
Yep.
And as he's exiting, you see that the assistant guy is still alive and he is on the phone with 911. They're talking to him. I thought Ziggy was going to shoot him again too, but he doesn't. Mm-hmm. And he steps outside, and then you get this kind of the shot is like this very slow kind of disjointed shot, how you would feel in that moment, right? It's really nice camera work. As he goes back to the car, and then we kind of come back into focus just as the meter goes, time expired. And he sits in the car, and I was sure he was just going to take off in that moment and run. But instead, he tries to light a cigarette, falls out of his mouth, and he starts crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such an intense scene.
Absolutely.
Ooh, man. That one was you were at my house, remember? And I was just like, oh my God, Ziggy just got shot Gleekus.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. Ooh.
Yeah, and so you covered it beautifully. First of all, the scheme that he puts together is really smart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So give him credit. We talked about this before. It's why are you using your powers for crime?
Yes.
But nevertheless, I swear that Gleekus was saying Sepulchre.
Sepulchre.
Or
what does that mean?
Is that what was that what the shepherd said?
I don't remember.
It was something like that.
Yes.
I could swear that's what he was saying, which I thought would have been a really nice touch. He's he's begging for his life, and he's using these same terms. And then the time expired thing, I was trying to figure out obviously there's a little bit of symbolism to it, but I'm trying to for him, he just looks up and I don't know, there's just the fact that it's this banality of he had set the meter and now his time is up, and he's kind of annoyed by it, and it just it causes you to break down. Even just something really small like that just pushes you over the edge.
Yep.
And then, so finally, James Ransone, his performance is he's sitting in the car, and he's trying to light his cigarette. I mean, just feel every bit of emotion that he has.
So good. Yes.
And then him crying, you just see the tears stream. It's holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
That is impressive stuff. So, and so a couple of notes from Alan Sepinwall. So first he said that his performance, interestingly, a lot of people underestimated how good it was. James Ransone was in a miniseries also by David Simon and Ed Burns called Generation Kill, which came out a few years later.
Okay.
And people realized, oh my God, this guy's a good actor. And I'm just what were you watching here? And we've talked about it a million times. To be an annoying character is
really make people just loathe you and your presence on screen. You're doing it.
Exactly. So and then to do and it's one thing to be an annoying character and then to show this, I think is really something.
Yes.
But just the interesting part of it to kind of zoom out a little bit is all of these things he never ended up on top in any. I mean the times when he was sort of triumphant was really the dick pic in Maui's computer. That was his best win, right? And he just kept getting shit on and shit on, and ultimately you boil over. It's just you can't deal with it anymore. And so,
that's right.
And finally, I'm saying finally again. It reminds me of this line from Martin Cruz Smith, who wrote Gorky Park, among other novels, and one of the novels he wrote, it's in the series of the detective series. The detective never carries a gun, and somebody asks him, why don't you carry a gun? The detective says, well, guns make you stupid. You stop thinking about options. The gun doesn't want options. And then the response is, but you've been shot. And he's like, well, there's a downside. But anyway, the point is that Ziggy bought this gun, and so now he's going to use it, right? He doesn't think about what are his other options. He's just well, fuck it, I'm shooting this guy. So, and it's just kind of, it's just interesting how that, like, well, and I think I'm thinking the same thing with Stringer. With Stringer, it's like, I don't know how to, like, navigate this tension between Avon Barksdale hiring Brother Mouzone and me wanting to keep the tower by making this deal with Prop Joe. So I'm just going to have somebody shoot Brother Mouzone or kill Brother Mouzone. Or something. Like that's how you do it. Like, think of, isn't there another path? But it's like, once you have it in your mind, you're just going to, just like the interesting comparison between the two. So
true.
Anyway, and that was that's my slight diatribe on Ziggy and his fate. So anyway.
Well, I think Ziggy's performance just continues to be amazing, or James Ransom's, because in the interrogation room, Landsman's in there. Well, both of them actually. I think Landsman's fabulous in this too. What is the name of that actor? I'm sorry.
Delaney Williams.
Yes, Delaney Williams. Excellent. Anyways, is asking for his signature, and Ziggy just has this, beautiful combination of stressed out, demolished, pathetic, and Landsman is actually nice to him, empathetic even, and pretty powerful. Zig, he even wants to correct one of the parts of the report. He's saying Gleekus wasn't saying, please shoot me. He was begging me not to shoot him, begging. Would that be better? He's like, yeah, that's more descriptive. Thanks. Yeah. And Ziggy's getting ready to get hauled off to jail. I love that Landsman stuffs a pack of cigarettes in his jacket, and asks if he wants to call someone. He says no. So he's like, there's probably no chance of bail, right? And they're like, nope. And, no family. And no, he does not want to call his family. Yeah. It's that interrogation room scene is just excellent.
You just have to initial each page and then sign at the end.
Just checking this. Is the official record, right, Chief?
It's what it's going to play in court.
Can I change something?
Yeah. Just put your initials next to your changes. It's no problem.
Yeah, it's only one. You type said. Here, see?
Said?
Yeah. He wasn't saying, please don't shoot me. It was more begging. Double G. He's begging me. I mean, but that's not gonna mess you up though, right?
No, that's it's more descriptive like that. It's good. Thanks.
Yeah, what did you think about him wanting to change the language?
I think it just, I don't know. I guess it just, like, part of it is just like, I'm screwed, right? Like, and just him owning up to really what happened.
Okay.
Him being willing to face really what happened.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'm taking this from Alan Sepinwall. Alan Sepinwall had the perspective that Ziggy was characterizing Gleekus as a coward by doing that.
Okay.
I don't.
Interesting.
To me, that feels like that. I don't quite see that interpretation.
Yeah.
But we're all just guessing here.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just his. He's so sad.
Exactly.
He's so sad in that moment. He's not like, it's not like vitriol or anything. Like he was begging me. He was begging me. No, he's like, no, he was begging.
Yeah. That's where I'm coming from too.
Yeah.
Like
the way he says it is very different.
Yeah. He sees it as like an act. His act was an act of cruelty.
Yeah.
And by saying begging, he's kind of saying I'm worse. I was worse than just killing him because anyway, so it's just curious, but as you said, I totally agree with you. Like, the way the Landsman responds to it, he's like, he couldn't care less that
he's just kind of affirming him.
Dude, whatever. But he's like, it's more descriptive. There's really something very, very, I don't know, there's something empathetic about that response. Yep.
Well, Frank and Horseface are just kind of lazing in the office trailer. They're looking stressed out after everything that's been going on with all the heat on them. And they were talking about how, they're going to have Nick get a number from the Greeks for the talco line that's coming up. And just then Nick walks in. He looks like shuttered.
Yeah.
He's barely, standing up straight. And he tells Frank that Ziggy shot 2 of the Greeks and that he is in jail charged with murder. And Frank is just rocked. He, stands up. He pushes him up against the TV and he's all pissed at Nick and is like, why weren't you with him? He's your cousin and all this stuff. And, Nick says what everybody is thinking.
Yeah.
He's your son.
Yeah.
He's your son. So, yeah.
Uncle Frank.
Hey, Nicky boy, just in time.
Uncle Frank.
What? What happened?
Ziggy.
The fuck is it this time?
He shot. They're saying he shot 2 of the Greeks. Last night, they're saying.
Shot? He shot? Fucking Christ.
He's locked up. He's fucking charged with murder.
The Greeks?
Double G. And one of the kids that works down the store on the avenue with him. They're saying he walked in there. He went in.
Why was he there? Where were you? Where the fuck were you?
Uncle Frank, I didn't know.
Didn't know what? What didn't you know? What the fuck is Ziggy doing anywhere near the fucking Greeks?
I don't know, I don't.
You don't know, you're supposed to. You're his fucking cousin.
You're his father.
So, we all have in our minds what's going to happen next with Frank and Ziggy when he gets to see him. But we don't find out in this episode. Next, we see Nick is in a park. He's rotating on a merry-go-round. He's drinking some Jack Daniels straight from the bottle. And Prissy comes up. She's not pregnant.
Nope.
That we know of. And, they're both super upset about what happened to Ziggy. And they are reminiscing about good times with him and how he, when they wanted him to get alcohol for them, he got them Boone's Farm instead of what they wanted because the college kids drank it, which, full disclosure, I did drink Boone's Farm in college.
Okay.
Strawberry Hill, baby. That was my favorite. It made me very sick. But anyway, so it's kind of a very sweet but sad scene. It's the most emotion we ever see from Nick in this whole damn thing so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he's pretty stoic. Yeah.
What'd you think of that story?
Oh, of that. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like, I don't know. It's not, it doesn't portray him in a great light. It's not like, it's kind of weird that that's the story that you're going to remember. But I guess they're just, I don't know. Maybe that's the only kind of story that they have about him.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he's thinking of.
Yeah. I mean, because the story really is what? Like, he didn't do what they all wanted him to do because he wanted to feel like he was better than some other group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
Yeah. Or he wanted to, he thought doing what sort of this sort of, how do I, gotta figure out my words here. If college kids are sort of are at a more respected, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to be at their level or try to do what they do at their level. And he thought that doing so was drinking Boone's Farm. And then he drinks it and he's like, that makes the entire thing. Yeah. I guess that's how I'm kind of.
Well, and his brother ended up, he went to community college, right? So maybe he was trying to further, separate himself from that experience or be better than that experience or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Now, I hadn't really taken the time to think about it, but if you want to just keep drilling into it, it's like, so college is like symbolically anyway, this sort of step towards, further mobility, upward mobility, right?
Yep.
And so, we've talked, why don't they just fly away? It just feels like, Ziggy was just trapped in this. I mean, and Nick too, to some degree, like we're just trapped in this sort of system that they essentially inherited.
Yeah.
So for Ziggy to kind of look at have this experience and then say, oh, well, clearly they're not better than anybody else, which I mean, they're not, like just by virtue of going to college, nobody's better than anybody else. But I think he also like said, well, screw it. I don't need to go in that. I don't need to worry about that
Right.
either. I think that's kind of and so he just was always kind of this born fuck up kind of guy.
Yep.
So I guess it just hammers it home essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I hadn't really thought too much about it other than, as I said, like you're just listening to the story and you're like, Ziggy has been a fuck up as long as he's, can walk pretty much. But I think there's something, if you dig into it a little bit more, there's a little bit more kind of symbolism about, and Ziggy, I think, just is this, he kind of represents the stagnation, or like someone who is unable to, of their own will, get out of their situation. Like Nick, by contrast, he wasn't able to get a new job.
Yeah.
A legitimate one anyway, but he still saw opportunity, and he took an opportunity even though it was illegal. Where Ziggy, he just couldn't see it. He couldn't see further than, just what the next thing was.
Yeah, and it's interesting too about Nick, because for me, like this whole time, I'm like seeing Nick, use these skills in planning and leadership and initiative that he has, for crime. But I up to this point, I kept on thinking like, well, God, maybe he's going to be like a crime boss, maybe he could go that direction. But, this is, I don't know where it goes from this, but it does seem like this is the end of the road for him.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the final storyline, shall we?
Right.
The big one. And actually, I'm glad, because the opening scene, I loved. I love Prez coming into the office, and you got some Johnny Cash going on, and he looks at the mess of a cork board, and then we end up getting this montage of the details, continued surveillance, and their evidence gathering, and adding more things to the corkboard. I even had to like draw a sketch for myself of the stuff on the corkboard so I could keep it. I literally do have it over here on my desk. And so this included putting GPS trackers on cars, getting vehicle registration info, getting records from East Point Insurance on the drivers for Pyramid Inc., which gave them Aton, and more information for Gleekus. And, interspersed throughout this, Prez is reorganizing the board, and at the end, he has neatly laid out all the connections that they know, and he ends with kind of a fucking A.
Yeah.
Which, like, there you go. All right, this is where we are now.
Yeah.
So it's a good status check. I liked it. Good way to kind of speed up time and show that process without boring us all. Anyways, Daniels wants to know where they are on, quote, the boss man, who they still think is Spiros. And they tell him, hey, we're listening in on these taps, but they are being really careful. And something to look at instead might be the GPS tracker. And so they look at the GPS trackers. They've been following Aton, or as Bunk says, Eton, Ilona, and Gleekus. And they can see all the places they've been over the course of 7 days, and they see that there are only 2 locations where they all have consistently gone. One is the Greek diner, where we always see Spiros and the Greek and Sergei, and the other is the spot on Fort Howard, where Spiros has met before with and Frank, I think. Anyways, so they say, hey, Herc and Carver, you guys surveil the diner. McNulty and Bunk, you guys are going to surveil Fort Howard. And there's, I like at the end, there's a little hazing of Prez there, who is super excited about this latest way to get data. This is so up his alley. So, yeah, that's our opening scene.
Okay. Yeah, just the montage music. Is played on the radio in the unit, so it doesn't quite cheat.
Yes,
but as it reminds me a little bit of the part of season 1 when Freeman is laying out all the paperwork trail that they have to go through.
Yeah,
and so kind of the same thing. It's like, well, they're going to get all this information. It was going to happen, so there's no point in like making it any longer than need to be. And of course, like the Walk the Line song. It's a great song. So.
It is a great song.
Yeah.
It's an interesting song, because I think it's like supposed to be like, I love you so much, I'm so devoted to you, but it's a little obsession-y.
Is that right?
I don't know if you ever notice, like, listen to the lyrics next time, just be like, well, it's kind of intense, man.
That's interesting. I don't think I'd ever really thought of it. It doesn't seem particularly complex, but you're probably right.
Yeah.
Probably right.
Anyways, okay, Frank, let's see here. Oh, okay, we did not mention this here. Frank walks into the office. He is trying to hide his campaign flyers. Ott is sitting right at the desk, and he sees a stack, and he's like, what the hell? And Ott is super offended because he thinks that Frank thinks he can't handle the dredging issue, which is what Frank is saying for why he wants to stay on another year. And, Ott storms out, and Pecus is just looking at him like, yeah, you kind of suck, Frank.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to tell him everything that's going on with the Greeks and the money and all that?
Yep.
So, yeah, he's stuck. We'll see what happens with that. Valchek is talking to some FBI dudes suddenly in his office about Sabaka and the case against him, Frank, for union racketeering. He's like, I'm just giving it to you guys. You guys, I think you could really do a great job with this and help me out. And oh, on the down low, I wonder if you could please help me with this little missing surveillance van issue. And it went to Seattle.
Yeah.
It did go to Seattle.
Yep.
And I think San Diego, and I think I saw like Wilmington, Delaware, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, the FBI guys just look at each other kind of like, uh-huh. And so, yeah, we now have Valchek bringing in the FBI to push his agenda, what he wants this case to be all about.
Yep.
Which is going to backfire in a big way.
One other thing you federals can help me with. And if you don't mind, a little discretion is called for. That right there is the district surveillance van, which was fully equipped when it disappeared.
A surveillance van?
Sabaka stole it, and now it's out of nowhere. The last picture was from Seattle, but I got prints from 2 other places. See? Uh-huh.
You reported the van stolen, right?
It was my feeling that the theft of a vehicle from a departmental lot would reflect poorly on the department. Thing is, I know you boys have got enough reach to maybe get the van back without no big dust-up. As a favor for me having brought you the whole case.
In a big way. Anything you want to add, Chris, before I move on?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. We are in the detail location. Carve brings in a big box of something, and, Herc's got a monitor, and they're like, hey, we can help set this up here.
Yeah.
And Free's like, don't you have a surveillance to cover?
Yeah,
just,
God.
They're just like schlubs. And I think Carver even says something like, it's like they don't think we're potty trained.
Yeah.
And they're walking out, and then come those FBI guys that we saw before with their, quote, tight asses.
Yeah.
That's how you can identify them, apparently, in addition to their wingtips. So Settles and Mason, that's who they are. And they come in to talk to Daniels, and they say, Major Valchek said you'd expect us. So,
yeah,
we shall see.
So I don't know if I can't remember where I heard this, but there was a question I came across at one point about Daniels looks at the agents, has no context.
Yes.
And he has this history, of dirt in his past.
Right.
So is there a moment
Good
where he
point.
is looking
Like,
at it and he's
oh,
like,
shit.
are they after me?
Yeah.
So just thought that was kind of interesting.
I didn't even think about that.
But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty fast. And this time I was looking for it. And I think he was just more like, I don't understand what's happening here. So he was just maybe more thrown off. But if you look at it that way, I could see that's how Lance Reddick was playing it. So I just thought that was kind of cool. So
yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And the fact that Valchek didn't tell him that they were just,
yes.
What a dick.
I know. He's such a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one who's really great at being an
Absolutely.
asshole.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. That night, Kima comes home. She lays her stuff on the kitchen counter. Shug comes up in a robe, and she is pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And Kima's opening up the fridge. There's nothing to eat in the fridge. She says, I thought you was going to go shopping. And Cheryl's like, I'm the pregnant one.
Yeah.
When are you going to start doting on me? And anyways, it seems like Kima is kind of checked out and like reluctant reluctantly maybe agree to be co-parenting this baby they're having. She crashes on the couch, and she's just like a dude. The way that she acts when she comes home and looks at the fridge and sits on the couch, and Cheryl snuggles up to her and says, "Oh, the baby is kicking. You want to feel it." But yeah, you can just tell from all of Kima's body language and what she says that she's just not feeling it.
Yep.
Or is maybe anxious about it and doesn't want to deal with those feelings, as we may find out later.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, just a one note about that scene is it ends, Kima is in view, and I think the TV or something is blocking Cheryl.
How
so
interesting.
Just a nice symbolic
that
gesture.
Is.
And I'll just, we both have kids, and I can tell you that feeling a baby kick is like the most exciting thing.
It is.
It's just like, because you don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. And
Oh my God,
it's really so I can't imagine what it's like carrying a child and feeling that. But as a dad, you're like, I would put my hand on my wife's belly every night pretty much. And just, it was one of those little joys. And Kima just is not.
I know.
Is not
I know. How
so.
can you not be amazed by that, Kima?
Yep.
Maybe it'll come.
Okay.
I hope it does.
Okay.
Daniels and Perlman are meeting up with some FBI agents, different ones, I feel like.
Yes.
It's so hard for me to keep track because there's so many FBI agents in this episode. They agree that the case is perfect for RICO prosecution. So RICO, racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organizations.
Very good.
And so it's they say, okay, we agree that we'll be in your court. So I guess a federal court.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that the FBI is largely interested in waterfront corruption because ever since 9/11, they realize that ports are vulnerable points. And so they say that, they talk about how they're going to be sharing information with each other. The FBI will send over their 302s, which is apparently an interview memo used by FBI agents to document and summarize interviews they conduct, serving as a record of information gathered during an investigation.
Wow.
Now you know.
All right.
And so they've made these plans for how they're going to share information and work together, but then it comes down to the actual working together part. And the FBI people come into the building that they're using for the detail, and it they have this kind of close up of Prez and then Free, and then Bunk, and it looks like like High Noon at the OK Corral.
Yeah.
It really did. They're doing that, and Bunk and Freeman act like they're gonna face off. They bear their pistols on their hips, and it's all a big joke, and they're all happy to work together.
Yeah.
So this was nice.
Yeah. So, and this is one thing that I don't know if it's ever happened as obviously at this time, but I think I've mentioned at least once before that David Simon loves Westerns, and there's a lot of homages.
Oh, okay.
So just that like square off.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. So, and I forgot to mention it before, but Brother Mouzone, when he shoots cheese, is
it's a
an
quick draw.
homage to exactly.
Yeah.
So apparently it's an homage to Clint Eastwood.
I was going to say,
which
The
was
Good, the Bad, the
either,
Ugly.
but I was like, well, which one is it?
Yeah.
And there were like, I'm
There
guessing
are so
like
many,
there are so
yes,
many.
that's
So
true.
Fistful of Dollars, there's a scene like that in Outlaw Josie Wales. There's a scene like that.
Outlaw Josie Wales. God, I haven't seen that for a long time.
I've never seen it, so I probably
God,
should.
my dad loved that
Oh,
movie.
really?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a favorite Clint Eastwood movie?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Every Which Way
I
But Loose?
actually...
Listen.
I actually liked Gran Torino.
Did you?
And I don't think anybody likes that one.
Okay.
But I really liked that one.
Yeah, his older stuff is kind of it's an acquired taste.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on. All right, here we go. Okay, Bunk. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, the boat, getting on Diggins' boat. Bunk has a life preserver on. It is so tight on his body, he can barely turn his head. It's so cute. I just remember and Carter was a little younger and more portly, and my son, and it would be the same thing. Like the preserver would be so tight. It'd be like just like face sticking out of the top.
Yeah.
Anyways, he and McNulty get on a boat that's apparently owned by Diggins. It looks like a
Okay,
fishing boat.
yeah,
I don't know if it's a marine unit boat or if it just belongs to Diggins.
Mm.
And at the time I'm like, why are they going fishing? Because they hand him a rod and they go out.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
are they taking a break? What is going on here? We see that Carver and Herc swap out with the FBI guys at the Greek diner. So we're kind of seeing everybody going out to their points of surveillance that they had been assigned, because we see Bunk then, very happy on the boat, and McNulty's actually got there. He's not fishing. He's got binoculars and he is surveying the shore at the seawall at Fort Howard, which is where Spiros kept on meeting up with those guys. And Kima are on surveillance at Pyramid Inc. They are in a nasty building across the street that I think Herc and Carver were at before. And Kima, while they have that time to talk to each other, she asks Beatty how she handles their line of work with having kids. And what she really wants to know is like, what will Beatty do? How will she feel when it goes down?
Yeah.
Like when the raids happen, she's kind of like, aren't you going to feel like you missed out on the best part of this work? And Beatty's kind of like, I don't really know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I guess I'll ask my parents or whatever. She's never had to deal with this before.
Yeah.
But it's clear, like, for Kima, that's her favorite part of the job.
Absolutely.
That was bringing her back to, out from behind a desk. So, yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting.
Yeah. And and Beatty's like connection to the job, it's kind of an interesting arc, right?
Yeah.
And so for her to be,
she'd never
it,
expected to be doing stuff like
exactly.
this, but you could
Yeah.
tell she's loving it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So you can kind of see, that's almost like seeing the backstory for Kima, right?
Right.
Like, here's how Kima arrived at this job.
Yes.
Or where she is.
Where she is, yeah. Okay, back at the detail again. Sorry, we're all over the place, I know, but we're back at the detail now. FBI and the police, they're working very nicely together. It's great. There's loads of them there. And we find out the FBI has agents in Le Havre in France.
Yep.
And that they are there trying to look at the manifests for the Talco ship to see if they can figure out where the illegal cans came from. Even though it's a lot of cans, like I said, they've got lots of agents, so that's great. There is nothing happening over at the Greek diner. Bunk and McNulty are heading back out on the water. Fitz is inputting some information in the NCIC, the National Crime Information Center database, including the target names, George Glikas, Sergei Malatov, Eitan Benelezer, and their numbers and who sees it. On another computer somewhere, it's Kutris, who we remember from last episode because he's on the side of the Greek. He's an informant for him. And so Kutris makes a call, probably to the Greek, right? Because next we see Kutris and the Greek are at an art museum, and Kutris is thanking him for the crack seizure that the Greek helped him with, which was apparently the largest on record. And then he lets him know that the case against him isn't local anymore. The FBI is in on it, and they have got a lot of wiretaps now.
Yep.
And Spiros ends up getting a text. It is in Greek, but I looked it up. It says close immediately. And Spiros tells Stefanos, who is the diner owner, to have the boy go to Eitan and the other place. And Spiros goes into his car then and leaves, which Herc and Carver totally miss.
Yep.
Because they are arguing over who had ordered the fries.
Yeah.
I think Carver calls Herc a fat fuck.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really cruel.
I mean, when they're unloading all that stuff into the office, you're like, man, why are they treating these guys so badly? And then
know.
this is why.
This is why.
Suck.
Yeah, they suck. Exactly. They can't even decide who ordered fries and who didn't.
Yeah.
So good. Anyways, lots going on here.
Yeah, definitely.
Shall I continue?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Across from Pyramid Inc., they see that Eitan is on the move, and they tell Freeman and Prez back at the detail. And so they're getting this information, and just then, who comes in? Valchek. And he is pissed off that this has gone beyond Sabaka. And I mean, it's like, don't you realize Sabaka's going to be implicated as well? I mean, really, like, oh my God, it's just so annoying. Anyways, he, goes off, and everybody's just kind of looking at him, just like, all right, oh man, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he tells Roland, to go get his shit and go. And he, Prez is just kind of standing there, and he's like, but we got this. We're just about to. And, twice Valchek pokes him in the chest.
Yeah.
You know, and that second time that he pokes him, Prez just decks him right in the chin. And I love Lieutenant Daniel's eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Humongous in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. And you know, Valchek is like, what the heck? You know, he's kind of holding his chin and he storms out and Daniel says, "Detective, my office."
Yeah.
Just a way only Daniels can do.
Pretty much, yeah.
And, Prez hands Daniels his gun and he walks off.
No objection.
No objection. He knows he did it.
Fine fucking kettle of fish. I heard it, but I had to come see it for myself. And sure enough.
Major.
You know, I put my faith in you fucking feds. You let me down.
Major, we can talk in my office.
Lieutenant. It's Lieutenant, right? I gave you a simple assignment. That fella, the one in the corner. And to make it happen, I gave you all this. Good digs, people, everything you needed. And what did you give me? Right up the fucking ass, Lieutenant.
Major, you're going to get some...
Roll in, get your shit. You want to do it your way, fine. But you ain't going to use my people to fuck me. Get your gear. I'm pulling you.
There's work? You said...
Get your narrow ass back to the district before I slap you with insubordination. Move, shitbird. Jesus.
Detective, my office.
But I have decided at this point, Prez, redeemed.
You think so? Okay.
Redeemed in my book.
That was, yeah.
You blinded a child, but now you are redeemed.
Yep. Okay. Fair enough. Because he punched
taking
out
it.
Valchek.
Yep.
Okay.
He
That's all
punched
it
out
took.
Valchek. I mean, what it is he is showing a dedication to doing what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm ready to say you're good.
Okay.
I'm going to give you, from this point, he's got a clean slate with me.
Okay, very good.
Okay, that's
All
what
right.
I say. People can change.
I mean, you know, it of course, like it was set up to some degree, right? With this whole the whole montage at the beginning.
Yeah.
This is how well he's
for
doing.
sure.
Everybody's
Yes.
watching him, like all
Yes.
this, you know, there are people walking up, and then Beatty and Freeman are watching him from the as
Yes.
he's kind of putting all these things together. And
Yes.
you're like, oh God,
I know.
And then he throws it all
Yep.
away, you know, and there's an interesting connection between Prez and Ziggy.
Yeah.
So just, you know,
So
you
true.
push somebody just a little too far,
Yeah.
and you don't know how they're going to react. And Prez has already shown that he's a little nuts.
He's yeah. I mean, he's yeah.
So Valchek wasn't expecting it, to be sure.
He wasn't.
And I mean, you know, just to back up a little bit, like Valchek saved his ass
Yeah.
when he filed that
did.
whatever that false report.
Yes.
And that's how he
The
ended
shooting
up
off
seeing-
the gun
Yeah.
indoors.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so just kind of interesting that, you know, Valchek didn't see it. Valchek just only saw that it was his son-in-law.
Yep.
And so anyway, just interesting, of course. But yeah, seeing Valchek get put on his ass is always
so great,
little enjoyable.
Well, after that, Freeman, he's walking back over to his computer and he can see the green dots for the GPS tracker going toward Fort Howard. So he radios Bunk and McNulty, and Bunk and McNulty, who are out on the water, see Aton and Spiros, who they keep on calling the boss, meet up, and Aton tells Spiros about Gleekas's murder and that the police have Ziggy, the crazy one, now. And Spiros tells Aton to go to Gleekas's store and grab any papers the police didn't take.
We're on the boss.
My God. He shoots both.
He kills George right there in the store. Leaves the boy to bleed.
For what? An argument over a few cars. With that little Polak.
He's crazy, that one, but the police have him now. So
police still there? Go to the store. Whatever the police did not take, papers, pictures, everything, you clean it up. The warehouse too, everything gets cleaned up. Everything. And the phones.
And then they both go ahead and pitch their phones into the water. And McNulty and Dickens, McNulty and Bunk, I should say, see them pitch this, phones into the water. They're not quite sure what they're like. Did you see that? And McNulty says, what were they doing with that thing in his hand before it went into the water? And this is where Dickens explains they sent a text message.
Yes.
This thing that all the
so
kids
quaint.
are crazy
Yeah.
about. I know, it's kind of funny that at this point, this is 2003, right?
Yeah.
Text messaging was still very new.
Yeah.
And I was just looking up because I was like, when did text messaging start? And it really I guess it started picking up in 2002. And then by 2004 to 2008, the number of text messages had quadrupled.
Really?
It really picked up, I guess, starting in
Interesting.
2004. So the year after this.
I mean, certainly the iPhone had a huge impact,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure. It made it way easier. I mean, I can remember just using the little buttons and
Yeah,
writing
yeah.
ABC. Okay, now that this is one T-E.
Yeah.
Remember
exactly.
that? It's so, and,
GHI4.
Yes.
No, okay. Damn it.
So that was kind of funny to see. Herc and Carver still outside the diner, and this time they do actually see something. They see Nick Sabatka coming up, and he asks Stefanos, the diner owner, to talk to Spiros, and Stefanos is like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And Nick, he kind of keeps looking back at the table where Spiros would always be sitting. Nobody is there, and he kind of looks back, and he gets it. He knows what's up now, and he leaves. And so at the detail, I'm sorry, I keep on saying back at the detail, but we're back at the detail. Freeman is filling in Bunk and McNulty on Prez's latest heroic efforts. And he tells him that Daniels had everyone write down what they saw, and I'm hoping that they exacerbated just how bad the chest pokes were. Maybe they were more like shoves.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
That would be nice. And so the Daniels took him back home. He probably won't be coming back, unfortunately. Freeman also tells him there's been no action since Eitan and Spiros met up. And Jimmy asks, hey, Freeman, where do the phone calls go once they're sent and before they're delivered? And he wants to know if it's possible to trace a call that way. And Bunk is like, oh, you silly Jimmy. There's so many calls. There's no way. And then Freeman and Jimmy kind of both realize that if they have the location too, another variable, which in this case is the Fort Howard seawall, that could help narrow it down. Fitz points out you still have all the different cell phone carriers though. And so, next we see Fritz and another guy. They're looking really frustrated because they're calling all of these cell phone carriers, and none of them seem to have accounts for Pyramid Inc. or any of the suspect names that they know.
Mm-hmm.
And McNulty, though, he's at that spot on the seawall, and he has a GPS device.
Mm-hmm.
And so he actually gets the coordinates for them, the latitude and the longitude. And that is great because now Fitz and Bunk are over at the Bay Wireless Phone Company, and the guy who works there is like, hey, this is amazing. No one ever got text message info from this kind of information before.
Yeah.
So they've just figured this out.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It's going to revolutionize how we solve crimes now. Bunk hands him a subpoena. And the guy tells him, hey, that's only good for account info and a phone number. You will need a search warrant. And if you give me a search warrant, you can get 2 months of text messages. So they say, we'll type one up tomorrow, but could we just take a peek? And the guy walks off. And what is the message? It's in Greek. But we, in this day and age, can't translate that. It said, we have a problem, just so you guys know.
Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, you can use your Google Translate, and there's a camera on it, and you can hold the camera to it, and it will, will translate the text.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, I use this when I'm trying to shop for Korean ingredients.
Oh, well, all right. Well, okay, keep going because what's the next scene where I'm like, I didn't. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so then again, back in the detail, they are looking over. I don't know which guy it is, Settles or Mason, one of them, his shoulder as he receives the text to translate from Fitz. And, this is what they had before we had Google Translate on our phones. And so he puts that in, and the text translates to say, shut down immediately. So they're like, oh, shit, we better step on it now.
So was that, the text that was in the printout
Yep.
was different from the one
Yes.
that you, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are two different,
I got it.
Two different texts.
So then in that case, like the one that, okay, so that was the one that,
yeah.
That
there was another one too that's different. The one
really?
that that one earlier said, I can't remember what that one said. It said something like close.
Yeah, close up immediately.
Yeah,
close immediately.
Yep,
close. What you said.
Closed immediately. That's what that one said.
Okay. Interesting.
So it
okay.
has different messages.
Yeah. I
each
mean,
time.
I wonder if like that might be a continuity error. That they have two that are that
could
similar.
be. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah.
They weren't expecting Ellie to utilize
They
Google
were not.
Translate. Yeah.
They were not. Okay, so it's nighttime, and there's a call. And Beatty stumbles awake out of bed. She answers the phone. It's Kima, and Kima tells her that the raids are happening tonight. And she says, "Oh, thank you for letting me know." And she's going to take the kids to the parents, so we know now exactly how Beatty would react at that moment because the time is here. And we are at the detail when Perlman comes in. She says, "Judge wants to know how much longer." And McNulty and Freeman and Kima, they are just typing as fast as they possibly can to put these warrants together. And in the meantime, Sergei and his dudes, they are taking every damn piece of paper they can out of Glikas's office. And Eitan is washing loads and loads and loads of drugs down the drain. And that is the end of that one.
That's it.
Yeah. Woo! I gotta watch the next one as soon as we finish this.
Okay, wow. I won't keep it too much longer then.
Oh, this is crazy. Wait, do we have one more episode after this, right? Or two more?
This is the third from the end.
There's two more.
Or sorry, two more than
Two more. Okay, great.
Yep.
Whew.
Yeah. So they're just interesting. Like, what other show do you have? Like the bad guys are. Right. The good guys are typing and the bad guys are,
I know.
doing
It's
all this
so
stuff.
funny.
You're
They're just
expecting...
like trying to type as fast as they can.
Yeah. So I did want to mention a couple of things. Let me hang on a second because I've got a couple of things that I skipped over before, but let me just double check. I think you, so to back up a fair bit with Kutros and the Greek.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was under the impression that Kutros was effectively a mole. But this was this was, I think, my initial impression. But I'm not sure. That I think he's just the Greek is a valuable informant for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the same way that McNulty and Bunk protected Omar on the Stinkum murder.
Yeah. Because
they're going to give him, Omar gave them the Bird murder.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really have a read on it necessarily, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So just, I don't know. But you had said that like the Greek is an informant, and for Kutros,
yes,
he, the Greek gave Kutros this huge drug bust.
Yep.
So, that's all, so keeping him free and available to provide information is a good thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that's, that makes as much sense, I think, as opposed to like him being actually corrupt.
Yeah.
So.
It is. I've been kind of battling that one. Is he really corrupt, or is it he's just kind of keeping this guy as I wonder. Do you think that Kutros knows the extent of the Greeks' naughtiness?
Well, I mean,
like that there are dead bodies, or do you think he just thinks it's like a bit of Russian vodka coming over and stuff like that?
I mean, presumably now Kutros should know everything.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's true. He should now know that it involves drugs and prostitutes. And, yeah. Okay.
But I don't know. So I guess it just depends. Like, I don't, same thing though. McNulty knows that Omar killed Stinkum.
Right.
I mean, that's a murder.
That's a murder.
Murder.
I
That's
know,
not like, I mean, sure, it's a
know.
murder of a guy in the drug game, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's a good question. And, listener, if you have thoughts, send us wired@gmail.com. Come on.
Please do.
And then one other thing I wanted to mention earlier, but you were flowing, so I didn't want to interrupt, is the Union and the FBI.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any kind of familiarity in this area. I don't have a ton.
Nope.
So
I do not.
So I looked up, like, why is the FBI involved in unions?
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, there's a lot of articles, videos of unions essentially being investigated, or and union leaders being arrested.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, it's hard to understand the background because there are so many situations where news articles come up when you do a search on the FBI and unions. So that I was like, well, maybe that's enough of a reason to understand.
Yeah.
From my understanding, the unions the unions are vulnerable to organized crime infiltration.
Right.
And so the tricky part is that you have an organization where if there's a single corrupt individual, that can really affect a lot of people negatively, and so the FBI being involved, it seems like there is a greater good. So this is a charitable reading of it.
I see.
On the other hand, that initial, good intention, I think, could go the other way, which is, well, we're just going to investigate, whatever union might come across, and they're going to have to prove that they're not doing anything illegitimate. So I don't know, but I guess they just have a history of investigating unions, identifying areas of organized crime. I think that was the whole.
And is it like, getting contracts for work in ways that are illegal or involve corruption? Is that where the main issues are with or is it
That's
like the
question.
smuggling? Because not all of them would be involved or have, truckers. Yeah, I could see port. Yeah, for sure, smuggling goods.
Yeah,
but some of the other ones where it's like involved in like, I don't know, like building roads and transportation and stuff, seems like it would be more focused on like getting the work by unfair means.
No, I think that's general and effectively, as you said, like construction. I don't know how true to life The Sopranos was, but that's where a lot of The Sopranos kind of make work jobs were. And so you basically have, and that's taxpayer dollars, right? Taxpayers don't know. And so it's just going off to the, some portion of it is going to organized crime. So, so that's sort of the part that where the FBI plays a role with unions, which I just didn't really quite understand. So anyway, let's see. Is there anything else that I had? No, I guess that's pretty much everything for the detail discussions that you had. I thought I was going to mention, we'd kind of put how well did the episode hold up on the shelf for a little while, because I felt like after the first couple, you're like, oh, this, not really relevant. But then like the text message thing I thought was pretty funny. Like now it's, what is he doing there? And it's text messaging was so foreign back then.
Yes.
And now it's just like, that's how most people communicate. Like voicemail doesn't exist anymore because text messaging.
Yeah, that was a time when it was like way more common to call somebody than text them, and now that's just kind of annoying to do.
Exactly.
Right? Like nobody does that except for some of my older family members,
right.
maybe. And even them, they're pretty darn on board with texting now.
Yeah. And when I have to like listen to a voicemail, I'm like, ugh.
Oh, yes. I agree 100%. I actually would rather just read the transcript of the voicemail than listen to it, which is terrible.
I'm with you.
That's how we are.
Yeah. Okay. Then a couple of little callbacks. Omar, as you mentioned, brought in food for Junk. And I thought it was I don't know if it was intentional, but I thought there was a comparison when Tillman was there. Junk was barking, and he's like, not for you. He doesn't give him any food. So I thought, just a little contrast there.
Yeah.
But, Omar knows who butters the bread in Butchie's bar. So, And then finally, Prissy Cadlow is played by Merritt Weaver.
Okay.
Merritt Weaver.
I feel like I've seen her in some other stuff. Yeah.
That's why I was asking you about Severance before, because she is in Severance.
She is.
Who
does she play in Severance? She plays...
I'll look it up now for you.
Oh my God, I totally know her face.
Let's see.
We're saying this because Chris knows that I love Severance, and I'm trying to get him to watch it really badly. And we'll add that my favorite episodes in Severance were directed by Uta
Brisowitz. I don't know. Is that how you pronounce it?
Who
She plays.
directed many episodes of The Wire.
Okay. Yes, exactly. And so I owe it to Ellie as a severance, as a penance.
Yeah.
Because I bugged her forever.
Yeah.
So speaking of, Merritt Weaver plays Gretchen George.
Yes,
Is that
Gretchen.
it?
She's
Okay.
Gretchen.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
Dylan's wife.
Yeah. And I'm pleased to
God,
say
that's right.
Okay. And I'm pleased to say that Merritt Weaver has had quite a good career. So she's good for her.
you, Merritt.
It's funny how she is in next episode, so I can't give her the killer cameo, but
Okay.
I just liked that. Hey, good for you, Merritt. So okay, and then I think that's all the little notes I had there.
Okay.
So a couple of notes on the music. We talked about Walk the Line. Again, they were taking a little liberty on making it part of the environment, but nevertheless, the song that is playing when Ziggy is loading the cars is called Roadrunner by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I I looked up the song and, it's nothing particularly interesting. It's it's interesting because it really, to me, added a lot of tension to the scene, even though, it's such Ziggy's being such a jackass by playing the music and, but anyway, you're listening, you're like, dude, what's wrong with you? You're going to get caught. So anyway, and then the song that's playing when Ziggy gets back in the car after shooting Gleekus is called I'm Back Again by the Fleshtones, which I guess was like a garage band. Man, I listened to that song. I was like, oh, that is a little grating. So anyway, I would start crying if someone made me listen to that. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. It's just not my thing.
Other people can like it.
All right. I struck with the killer cameos because there's a lot of the Fed people,
sure. Yep.
which, didn't really do much for me.
Agreed.
And as I mentioned, Prissy, I can't give it to her. She is briefly in the next episode, so rules are rules.
She? Okay.
Well, I was listening back to our first season, and I gave it to people that show up multiple times, but, nevertheless.
Did you know that you were giving it to people that showed up multiple times?
I don't think I had the rules quite in place the way that I do
Okay,
now.
fair.
So,
Fair.
But anyway. But, we talked about Merritt Weaver, so she gets, all the call-outs, all the shout-outs she rightly deserves. But in any case, so I really kind of struggle. The two guys that were talking about the port wine versus sherry in Butchie's bar, I like them. I thought they were kind of
They
hilarious.
were great.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Well,
yes.
I also for some reason like the Bay Wireless guy. But,
I actually do like the Bay Wireless guy a lot.
So both of them. So,
he's
but
a little obsequious.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
good.
Yeah, and so again, it's so amazing to me how they find these characters,
I
these people, just to
know.
play these really bit roles, and yet for some reason I can Pee Wee Matthews, that line it just lives in my head. It's just
I know.
right with the name Pee Wee. I so anyway, just kind of so good job for those guys. But of
So
course, no
good.
names. So all right, this gets to the next question, which is the the life lesson, Mr. Nugget's life lesson.
Yeah.
So. I was coming across this. I don't know that I was hoping to pull something out. I have one.
Okay.
But there are a couple of ones that are pretty smart, I
Okay.
think, if I do say so myself, but they're not profound.
All right.
Number one, don't punch your boss or father-in-law, and especially if not both. Don't punch them in the face.
Yes.
Probably just don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't punch anybody in general, but boss and father-in-law are really, really you're asking
That's
for it.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna really affect you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Southern Comfort is better than Boone's Farm, so if you have a choice,
Yes.
go with Southern Comfort, I think. I don't know. Actually,
I would agree with that, but not by it along.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely better.
yeah, I mean, as a general rule, if you're drinking alcohol that tastes really good,
Yeah.
you're going to be in for a bad time.
Something's gonna hurt
You're
tomorrow.
gonna go, well, I can't believe this is alcohol. This has alcohol in it. And I mean, this feels like a rerun, but Mouzone's comment about the most dangerous thing in America,
Yes.
blank with a library card. I mean, we said it before, libraries are
Yeah.
the shit.
They are the shit.
So I will just share here. Yeah, go use your local library. And I'll tell you, if you want a little guidance on what to get, you're like, what do I get at the library? Number one, get the what's it called? The fiction that you're going to read once just for fun.
Yep.
Right? Like the pulpiest fiction, go get that. Enjoy
Yes.
it. Don't buy it. Just go get it from the library.
Yes.
Just plow through it. It's just as good as anything else. That'll be one. Cookbooks are awesome. If you want to learn how to
Good recommendation,
I
sir.
will say that I Ellie, I will leave Ellie to provide feedback on my cooking.
Very good.
I'm capable.
Chris is a fabulous chef.
But I just follow the directions of books and the cookbooks, and I would just get books out of the library
Yeah.
and just try out recipes that I like, return it if I don't like it, buy the cookbook later if you do.
Yep.
It's a great way to test those things out. So definitely use the library and make yourself more dangerous. As
Agreed.
So.
Agreed. And all those times people send you like a link to an article and you're like, oh, but I don't have a subscription. Guess what? If you have a library card, you probably do.
What a poll.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes. So,
there you go.
Okay.
Life lessons.
Okay, good stuff. And Ellie is an author, which means that using the library hurts her bottom line, and she even supports it. So,
hey, I do, because libraries buy books too.
Oh, that's true.
They buy a lot of books.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yep.
So
library market's huge.
So check out Ellie's book at the library.
Thank you.
So her stuff is fabulous. Okay, so talked about how well the episode hold up. So I forgot to mention this, though, in the moment. Another prediction you got right.
Oh. What?
The van made it to another port.
That's right.
So
I think I even
job.
said I would love it if it made it to. I think I said San Francisco, but I would love it if it made to Seattle.
Yeah.
And
I think
did.
I think you said Portland or Seattle.
Yes.
So yeah, good job. So well done there.
Woo!
That took a while.
It took
So
a
good job
long
there.
time.
So, yeah. Okay.
It did.
All right. So that gets us to the end, and which means prediction time.
Ugh,
so, I mean, everything's happening here.
Yeah.
So they're typing up a bunch of stuff.
They're typing up a bunch
What's
of stuff.
going to happen?
Okay, so raids happen.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to start raiding the places. They're going to raid the warehouse, and they are going to raid the place that the Johns go, and that the sex workers stay. They're not sex workers. They're not prostitutes. I mean, they're like indentured servants.
True.
And yeah, so they're going to raid those places. I think we're going to have some arrests. I think they're going to arrest Frank and Nick. Well, let's see. They got Frank, they got Nick, they got Johnny. Right? They got information on all three. I think I saw all three of them on the board.
Okay.
And I'm not sure which Greeks they're going to be able to get a hold of, though, because they're so wise to it, and they're already moving so fast and shutting everything down. But they must have places of residence for them too. And maybe they get a Greek or two. They're not going to get the Greek. I don't think they're going to get Spiros. Maybe they get some of the lower guys. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen there.
Okay, excellent. I love the precision.
Okay, well, if I'm going to go for it, let me just go for it.
They'll make some arrests. You could have left it there, but no.
I could have. No,
you're going deeper.
I got to think about who could get arrested.
Okay.
Let me see here. Let's go. Oh, jeez. Okay, Omar is going to meet with Stringer. They're going to meet, but I just don't know how he is going to convince Omar to try to kill Brother Mouzone. Because Butchie's the one that's like, it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right to me, it's not going to feel right to Omar. So I'm not sure what's going to come of that. They're definitely going to meet, but I just don't see, based on that, I don't see Omar falling for it.
Okay.
But I don't know what Omar will do as a result. I mean, why bring him back into the mix? It doesn't seem like there's more story for Omar. So is this the end of Omar? Does this lead to the end of Omar instead?
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't want to say for sure yet. I need more information still before I can make a prediction on that one.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know that I have anything else. Ziggy's in jail.
It's pretty much.
Yeah.
With the arrest, like that's going to take.
Yep.
A significant, part of it. So.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Hang on a second. So give me a second because I want to dig back. You had made a prediction about Omar a while back, and
did I?
It sounded like. Where was it?
Did I say he was gonna take over Stringer's or something like that?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, I don't remember
because there was something.
So
the problem
many
is
predictions.
The problem is when I do a search for Omar, it's like, there.
Comes up like 1,000 times.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let's see. Okay, nothing in there. So hang on, just give me one more second. One more second, listener. I promise I'll get something.
I will.
Otherwise, I'll dig it up for next time. Because I thought I wanted to write it down last time because I remember thinking like Ellie had this prediction. I'm like, oh my God, how did you predict that this far in advance?
Oh my God. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm really impressed with myself already and have no idea what we were even talking about.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, here I am. I'm stuck. So, okay, I'm going to have to, we'll leave it here because I can't find it. But I know you made the prediction, and I just have to find it. So, in any case.
Okay, we'll find that one.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah, I mean, I guess, that, the Omar one, yeah, that one feels like the one that has the most, the path is not at all clear. So,
okay.
I like your take.
I want to make 2 more predictions now that I'm looking back at everything.
Okay.
I predict that Cheryl gives birth in the last episode.
All right.
And that Amy leaves Nick and marries a rich doctor and lives happily ever after.
Okay.
That's my prediction. I just feel like I owe that one to Amy after all the shit she's put up with. People talking about her boobs, some random dudes.
I mean, it's Dominic West. So
Dominic West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, those are my predictions.
Okay, well, you know what? Yeah. Do I respond? No, I won't.
Okay.
So I had
Just
one.
leave it be.
This is now. I should have said this earlier, but I had homework about the judge.
Oh, okay.
And remember last time I was washing the windows, I asked my dad about that. He's like, he'd never heard of a judge taking, requiring, but apparently it sounds like getting warrants these days is not particularly thorough in that the judge will kind of do a quick review.
Okay.
So doing a what's called testify or whatever, signing an affidavit in front of a judge at his house is kind of unusual.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
anyway,
Okay.
I didn't want to forget that. I might cut this out.
You know what's also interesting, Chris, I'm thinking here, is Prop Joe, when the Greeks go down, if they go down, he doesn't have drugs anymore coming in. That's not good.
Yeah.
This could go very, very badly for Prop Joe.
Indeed.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that until now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, there we go.
That was a much more interesting point than mine about the judge.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, you do want Amy. You do want. Does she even have a line? That's interesting. I don't know. So, and
I don't even know if she even says anything in
so
this.
that's kind of interesting. But I want good stuff for her as well.
I want good stuff
Nick
for her.
Nick is just kind of I like his character, but
he's not good enough for her.
That's pretty much it.
That's
yeah.
what
So
it
they
is.
do have a kid together, but that's not a reason to stay with somebody
Nope.
if he's not treating. If he's lying to you, and you clearly he's clearly lying to her. She knows he's lying.
Yeah.
So and then he even what does he say? Something like well, if you're not going to believe me or whatever.
Yeah.
Then, So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's kind of locked in now.
Shitty.
So anyway, okay. Well, that gets us to the very end, and so
Boom.
Next week we will be back to cover season 2, episode 11, Bad Dreams. So we're back off of the.
Okay.
Or sorry,
We're off of the nautical
that's-
stuff.
Episode 11. Okay, Bad Dreams. So we're off of the nautical theme again, but the last episode is back on it. So in any case, okay.
Bad Dreams.
Yeah,
Ready.
Bad Dreams. So yeah. All right. Well, that's it, Ellie. Thank you so much as always. Thank you, listener.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, listener, as well.
Okay, we will see you all next week.
Okay, I'm off to go watch the next episode. Bye.
The Wired and Rewired podcast is Ellie Peterson and me, Chris Valchek. Our theme song is Nice Vibes by Neon Beach. Want to holler at us? You can email us at wiredandrewired@gmail.com or hit us on the burner at 240-488-0060 to leave us a voicemail. We're Wired and Rewired on all the socials. And of course, if you like the show, please give us a rating and review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It helps other Wire fans discover the show. And until next time.
Aim for center mass. Make sure the man goes down.